to day 29 of 31 Days of Halloween. I cannot believe that 31 Days of Halloween is almost over. It's so crazy. I've had so much fun this month filming all these videos, even though a lot of them were pre-recorded. But I've just had so much fun filming them, and it's been a lot of fun. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it as well. But so we're almost to the end, but not just yet. Only a few more days, but then we're done. So for today's video, I'm going to be reading a couple of creepypastas for you guys. Now, if you don't know what creepypastas is, it's a website called creepypastas.com, and there's a ton of, it's kind of like a blog, kind of, but there's a ton of like scary stories on this website that people write and put up, and a lot of them are quite long, so it was hard for me to look for ones that are like super creepy. Well, they're all creepy because it's called creepypastas, but it was hard to find one that was really scary and that was also quite short, because they're all really long, but I have found two that I think aren't that long. So if you want to like just sit back and relax and just listen to me telling you these stories, then just stay here and just chill for a bit, because this video might be quite long, so because these stories are quite long, but I'm going to try and read as fast as I can. And yeah, so let's get started. So this first one is called Roommate Troubles, and a lot of these are also like based on true stories. I think this one is based on a true story by the author, and it says, it's so cute, it says rate this pasta, and they're rated by pumpkins, which is so cute, and this has quite a lot of rates for it. It's got 7 out of 10, so it's not too bad, but it is just so cute the way they rate them with the pumpkins. Okay, so first let's start this off. It says, this actually happened to me a few years back at the University of Arts in Philadelphia. And then it says, my sophomore year, I was roomed with a girl named Kara. She was a jazz vocalist, but her main interest was opera. We had a small room on the 6th floor of a dormitory called Juniper Hall. I thought it said Jupiter. The walls were thin, and her late night singing and voice practices would keep me up late. After a month or so of lost sleep, I convinced her to move her late night practices to the music studios in the Merriam Theatre building a block away. Around 8 o'clock one evening, Kara announced that she would be practicing late for an upcoming recital and probably wouldn't be home around midnight. Great, I thought, that means I can go to bed early. I was beat. I had a horrible day in acting studio, and was ready to pass out as soon as I had dinner. She said goodnight and left, coffee and sheet music in hand. I made some grilled cheese and soup, gobbled it down, and immediately began to prepare for bed. By the time I got out of my shower, my eyelids were so heavy I could hardly brush my teeth. I pulled on my PJs and crawled into the top bunk of our bunk bed. I was out as soon as my head hit the pillow. I should take a second to describe the layout of our apartment. When entering the apartment, the bedroom was through a door and immediately to the left. Our bathroom was inside the bedroom, just past the bunk beds. UARTS is nice in the sense that you don't have to share a bathroom. Anyway, I woke up to the sound of the apartment door closing, opening my eyes and groggily checking my phone. Midnight on the dot. I rolled back over and closed my eyes. I heard Kara enter the room and stop in front of the bunk bed, checking to see if I'm actually asleep, I thought. She flopped down on the bed below me, which was strange, as she was a stickler for brushing her teeth and washing up before bed. Then again, exams were just around the corner and we were all exhausted. The mattress below me creaked, and then it was silent. I couldn't even hear her breathing. I started to drift off again. I was just on the edge of deep sleep when I was startled awake by a noise, a key and lock, the door opening, and Kara entering our apartment humming an opera tune. The mattress below me creaked. Oh my god, that is so creepy. Like, she thought that her roommate had come in, but it wasn't her. That is so creepy and so terrifying. I would have been so like, oh my god, that is so scary. Oh my god, that is really creepy. I love that one. That is so good. Okay, so now on to the next one. This has even more ratings. It's 8.6 out of 10. It says the estimated reading time for this post is 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Let's see if that's correct. Because it looks like it's pretty long, but oh well. So this is the last one. It says, it's called Up. It says, do you know what a cordyceps is? I didn't either until 20 minutes ago. It's a family of thousands of different types of fungus, grows all around the world in various rainforests and jungles. The awful thing about them is they're parasitic, I don't know. They grow on other animals. An ant happens to run into some spores and then it starts to colonize his insides, starting with his brain. At some point, the ant starts to act visibly ill, standing in place and shivering or walking in circles. If a fellow colony member sees him in this condition, he will be dragged to the border of the colony and exiled. Then when it's almost over, the ant weakly climbs as high as he can up the vines and locks his body on tight. Finally he dies and the fungus emerges from the back of his head, bursting forth like a long and foul fruit. After a short time, the little stalk spews forth its own spores, leaving the mummified and broken ant clinging to the stalk, his eye cavities filled with drying fungus. Ew. I mention this because last night when I was up on the roof of my apartment complex, I found my brother's body. He's been back from 18 months on duty in the Philippines for less than 3 days. This was the first I'd seen him. My parents called me up the day before yesterday to tell me that he was on his way up. They told me he'd stayed in his room since he gotten home, and then suddenly got up and announced he was on his way to see me. They thought he was drunk. I thought he never made it. He must have come straight up to the roof and died by the smell of it. I was just finishing a cigarette, all torn up with anxiety and head throbbing, and when the acrid smoke vanished, I thought a whiff of rot on the hot wind. It took me just a few minutes before I found him, face down, behind the vents and fans. A slimy grey column rose up obscenely from the base of his skull, and a frozen waterfall of roots and tendrils was dangling from his eye sockets and mouth. At the top of the stalk was a small arrangement of feathery wisps, white powder drifting idly from its tips. The spores must have drifting over the north side of the building all day. My side of the building, I came down to my apartment to try and call up the police, and my headache was rising to a feverish throb. I got through the door, and the moment I reached for the phone, pain flared in my head so bad I almost passed out. I've since tried 3 times, and I can never get my hand up on it. The same thing happens when I try to get up and leave the room. I feel spines of ice tunneling up into my skull, and my limbs lock up and shudder. The ants in their last moment crawl as high up as he can climb. This is so the spore will spread over more of the colony below. In the end, the parasite controls the ant with an almost intelligent drive. God help me. The pain is almost blinding now, and a new thought has been rising up rhythmically in my head, like a record skipping up, up, up. It's joined by an image of my office tower. It's taller than my apartment, the tallest place I can think of, and although the bulge on the back of my neck is the size of a peach, the skin stretched shiny, and I'm dizzy, and my eyes are cloudy. I think I can make it there, up. Make it there, up, yeah, okay. Now I'm sick. I need help. The building pulses around again in my mind. The cold wind, the roof, and the sky, these images and concepts dull the pain momentarily as they pass through my mind. I think I can get there. Up, up. If you live down in downtown Chicago, I would get the F out. And that's it. Okay, that was kind of really, I don't really know if to think of that one. I feel like this one, even though she says it's like, or he says it's like real, I don't really know. I don't really know if these things are real or not, but it's so hard to just like go to the thought of it. Like the other one seemed really like real. Like the roommate troubles one definitely seemed real. But this one, I don't really know. And then, yeah, I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of that type of thing before? Because I haven't. But I just think these stories are sometimes they're so interesting to read and so like it says in the name of the website, creepy. It is super creepy. Like I've never heard of that before in my life. And this one, the reason why I chose to read these ones was because they had high ratings of them and people seem to really like them, so I thought that you guys would like these as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed me reading a couple of stories to you. If you want to check out creepypastas, just go to creepypastas.com, and there are some really insane and also really awesome stories on this website, because it's definitely worth to have a look on there, because just some of them are so weird and creepy and I love it. So I just thought it would be perfect for 31 Days of Halloween. So thank you again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow for day 30 of 31 Days of Halloween. Alright, bye guys.